Hey, good morning, Instagram. Marin here from indiebirth at my cozy little office after a nice walk over this morning. So Margot and I have been taking turns with videos and kind of using each other's, I think, for inspiration and kind of piggybacking off of them. So this morning on my walk over, I decided I wanted to talk about creativity in midwifery and what that means to me and how relevant it is in the world today and in our constant quest for attracting more students to the indiebirth midwifery school. I'd say creativity is a huge component of the work we do here at indiebirth and what's important to us. Therefore, those people out there that also see creativity as a crucial part of midwifery and birth may be interested in our school. So what on earth am I actually talking about? Well, I think there's two ways at least to talk about midwifery and creativity, and I'll talk about those two kind of briefly this morning. I'm sure there are others. The first thing that comes to mind is the incredible lack of creativity, sorry to say, that we see in the world as it applies to becoming a midwife. Like all the time. Tons of people out there saying that they can't. They're not allowed. Where they live, it's not permitted. Oh, this school only allows practicing this way in this place. And to that, I'm just going to be blunt. I would say, okay, if you really want to live in a way where you have up these really black and white boundaries for yourself and what you think midwifery can look like, then you're entitled to feel that way. The problem, I guess, is that we're really going to have trouble establishing any kind of new paradigm in birth if everybody continues to feel that way. Now, of course, not everyone feels that way, but there's a huge percentage of women that do. And to that I say, where is your creativity? Like, are you one to just accept things the way they are? Do you have no desire to make something new? Do you have no desire for change? And so I don't get it. I don't know what that's about. That doesn't resonate at all for me. It's been 7 years, almost to the day, that I gave my midwifery license back to the state of Arizona and was left feeling like I had no idea what I'd do. So my choices at that point were to quit and say, there's no way. There's no way to do it without a license. I'm not allowed. I just can't make this work, and quit, and that would have been fine, I suppose. But that's not what I chose to do. And I firmly believed in my own creativity and solution finding and problem solving and all of the things that are necessary to become a midwife. And I figured it out for me. So, whether or not that same solution or problem-solving technique is right for you, I have no idea. My point is, when faced with challenges in becoming a midwife, those are your two choices. You can say there's no way, you're not allowed, and not do it. Or you really can just put the intention out to the universe that there is a way, that the way you feel in your heart to serve women and families is possible for you, and you will be shown the way. You will figure it out. And those are the kind of students that we're really excited to attract more of. I just am so tired of it all, the lack of creativity. And so we're all about educating. I think that's pretty clear from these videos, from the hundreds of podcasts we have, the YouTube videos. I mean, we have so much out there to help educate you if you're truly someone that's like, well, I want to be more creative, but I'm not seeing it. Like, okay, there's an opportunity there to learn and grow, and we totally welcome that kind of conversation. But again, if you're one of those people that's just like, oh, there's no way, and I live here, and it's just not going to happen, and you need to be in this kind of school or else, then I guess it's the end of that conversation for us. Because we just don't believe that. And again, if you're not creative in your attempts to become a midwife and your schooling and your apprenticeship and all the things that honestly take a shitload of work, then how are you going to be a midwife? There's nothing to me more creative than working with women. And I come to this all after many years, as many of you know, from an artistic background. I was a musician for most of my life. And many midwives, I think for that reason, come from music or art or some other kind of like hard creative background, and we find that midwifery is even more creative perhaps than the art we were involved in. So, section 1 kind of covered that lack of creativity and the need for creativity in becoming a midwife. I think that's huge, and it's an ongoing conversation. And again, check out all of our other resources and talk to our students. These are the women actively engaged and figuring it out in their communities. And I guess that's my kind of bold message this morning is figure it out. If you are wanting to do this, there is a way. And that's the definition of creativity, isn't it? Like, we don't know what it is. There isn't a path that will be exactly right for you and me and her. It's something that we piece together based on our own needs, our own truths, our own philosophies, but it's totally doable. So just encouraging people, even though I could keep focusing on the lack of creativity that we see. I know that there are many people out there truly creative and wanting to do this and hungry and ready for a solution and not willing to put up with this status quo any longer, wanting to see change and wanting to create the kind of midwives all over the world that truly serve the family. So it's happening. Like, our school is proof of that, but we're always on the lookout for more women that fit that description, because we found they're pretty rare. So that's part 1. Part 2, briefly, before I head on to a meeting here, is just the need for creativity as a midwife. That's the next step, right? The training is only the beginning. It's only the foundation we set, hopefully, so that we can get out into the world and actually do this. And creativity as a midwife is ongoing. It's challenging. It's fun. It's never ending, because each unique woman that comes in to my place, or I'm visiting her, each unique person presents an opportunity for a different kind of creativity. That's really what it comes down to. So there is no one size fits all care. Every woman that walks through the door is totally beautiful and special in her own way. And I want to hear from her what her dreams are for this pregnancy and this birth. I want to hear what her challenges are, what her, points of contention are. I want to hear about her emotional journey. I'd love to hear about her spiritual journey. So in holding space for that as a midwife, of course, we have other things going on in our brains, clinical information and this and that, to kind of make it all come together so that we can sit and be with this woman in an open space. And I always like to kind of paint the analogy of the pregnant woman as the artist. She is the artist in her own care and in her birth. And as a midwife, we're the supporting role. We're not really the artists, but yet we're part of her creative process. So we also need to be creative. And sometimes it's just purely practical. Like, something will come up in her care, maybe the need for lab testing or some kind of medical information. And we might need to be creative as to how to obtain that information. So sometimes it's just really simple. And if we don't have good creative skills, if that isn't something that we've worked on and challenged in ourselves, then what? Then, we become possibly a cookie cutter midwife variety, of which there are many out there, who have everything set out for them, what they can do, what they can't do, what they must do, all of that. And for me, that is just kind of not a challenge enough, and really makes midwifery more medicalized and less creative, I guess. Just plain and simple, less creative. And, I always say, whether it's midwifery or, pick any other occupation where everything's kind of set out in front of you how it must go. I always say a trained monkey could do that, right? It's not really asking you to engage any kind of like intellectual thinking or weighing or creativity. And so, I know for me, I wouldn't be a midwife if I had to practice in that way. It would not be fun. It would still be fun working with women, but if I weren't able to approach them all as unique beings and really hear where they're at and feel where they're at and help them custom create, this care they're receiving, I just wouldn't do it. So that's my little spiel on creativity in midwifery today. And I think it's just so important, obviously. And those of you that are out there that are resonating with this kind of message, with this kind of philosophy, we really encourage you to check out indiebirthmidwiferyschool.org. We have, 8 days left of the early application period for our school. And we are so excited to see the applications that are coming in and the really, really deep passion and intention and commitment that we're already seeing in these potential students. So if you're ready to be creative, you're sick of, hearing from everybody around you that you can't or you won't or you shouldn't, then our school is probably perfect for you. And you should totally check it out and ask us questions if you have them. So have a great day there. I'm going to hop on a meeting now, and I wish you just an absolutely beautiful Monday. Bye.